if we agonize, we will be taken down together as one. We will deliver ourselves from the chains and shackles of oppression. You know, there can only be a slave master where people are willing to be slaves. There can only be a slave master where the people, consent or are willing to be slaves. But where they resist, just as we are trying to do now, build up, mass resistance, like we started with the labor, NLC, TUC, September 2nd, we moved to the National Assembly, broke down the gate when the security were trying to prevent us, etc. We need to do that. In the 90s, we did all that in the student movement. In the 80s, we will come out and then we tell government enough is enough and government will change. I remember the Babangida government change. It would have been an absolute authoritarian government. But because of the student movement at that time, conscious of their rights, with ideas and ideology, we were able to beat the government back. To that extent, again, we were able to lead the human rights civil society movement to beating the military out of government. And even after the annulment of the MK Abiola election, we also still struggled on the streets. Yes, we had casualties, but we triumphed. We brought in democracy. Eventually, we brought in democracy. So we cannot afford to allow our destiny to be trampled upon by those who just want to, feed fat on us. There is nothing they do than just to, if you look at what you call the subsidy regime, it is robbing the poor to pay the rich. There is nothing like even subsidy removal. It's phantom, it's phony. Because that has been long removed. But that because of the mismanagement of the economy and a lot of corruption, they wanted to bring something in to say, well, subsidy, and let us increase fuel price. And look at what happened today. Even the middle class is displaced. Nobody can afford that kind of fuel price without consultation, unilaterally, arbitrarily. A government that prides itself to have been elected by the people, took a fundamental decision like that without consultation, without recourse to the Nigerian people. That cannot be called a government elected by them. If you are elected, you consult the people. You build consensus. You work out strategy. You have a plan before taking such action. You don't just throw the people into chaos and anarchy. So anarchy looms in Nigeria. Our prayer is that the military will not come and intervene, but the people will intervene. Because if care is not taken, what is happening in West Africa and Africa, just Gabon, Burkina Faso, will happen. Because the military themselves also, are in the society and they are feeling the pains too. and they know that the people are grounded, and therefore, and know the sentiment of the people. So we are praying that it will not get to that point, because what we are going through in Nigeria is terrible. So I want to encourage us that we need to be courageous, more courageous. We need to come out. We need to organize better. What Professor Pat Utomi and other leaders have initiated in this case is for us to be able to show government the power of the people, to demonstrate to government that power belongs to the people and not their agent in government. Democracy is about the people, both majority and minority. And therefore, the people of Nigeria, have the power to take their country back. And what we are doing today is democratic. So I will implore us to, while we expect Professor Pat Utomi, I'm going to get back to him now, that we be enthusiastic, we'll be hopeful. Justice will be done. Well, judiciary is a point, but then it's unfortunate that the society is going through a lot of rot, and the judiciary may not be an exception because it's part of the Nigerian society. It's unfortunate, but the people, if we are vigilant and awake, according to an adage, eternal vigilance is the price for liberty. Eternal vigilance is the price for liberty. So if we are awake and vigilant, we will have our liberty. But things are not right now. And so we have to engage government constructively and peacefully in resistance. What we are calling, what is supposed to happen is that the Nigerian people will all come out one day, a day of national action, where the Nigerian people will come out to demonstrate that enough is enough. Enough of exploitation. Enough of exploitation of the Nigerian people. We cannot continue like this, where the people are pauperized and people are dying daily. Just dying daily. We cannot continue. The Nigerian people, instead of the military, must come out to say enough is enough. We will have to decide that in planning. We have done it in the past. We did it in the 90s. We did this in the 2004, 2012 to 2015, I guess, and then the NSAS movement. We must constructively engage and show government that power belongs to the people. Except we do that, government will ride roughshod on the country. Everybody will go down, and then one man will become a despot, and then life becomes unbearable. So that is why we are here, for the young people to speak out, for the old to speak out, for us to be more conscious. We are going to start political education, but strategic planning we also start, for us to know how to deliver ourselves from the shackles of oppression. We are not happy that elections were rigged in Nigeria. Nobody's happy. The 2023 elections were rigged, and heavily so, and attested to by the European Union. That cannot be a basis for development. Where elections are rigged, democracy is circumvented. INEC is in trouble because they can't account for the trust and investment, made into the electoral process of 2023. And so we have to, as young people, we must ask questions. We must query what is before us. We must agitate. We must organize. We are revolutionaries. Young people are essentially revolutionaries because they are enthused by new ideas and they want to see change. So I'm challenging Nigerians and young people that power belongs to them. The only thing we can do is to unite to break our chains. Yes, we have our daily capitalist society and the rest, but we must organize. We must organize. It is time. It's to confront. And no police, no military will face the people. When they see that the people are united, no, we have led this struggle, none anywhere. None. But when they see that we are divided, yes, they will throw tear. But when they see we are united and there is a no, they will say, no, God, we can't do this. And that is what we are seeing in other countries where you have seen change from the people. So I like to appreciate those who have come to attend this very special State of the Nation rally and media chat. I don't know if Ambassador Nkuto is here in the house. She's chair of the United Action Front of the Civil Society and the spokesperson of the Labor and Civil Society Front. We have also invited a couple of people. Okay, I see Uda Dokubo. I see Dr. Mo is here. I see Momo. I don't know whether it's Dr. Mo. I don't know if Nwokobia is here, Professor Nwokobia Jr., Dr. Idika Kalu, Mrs. Adeyemi, Mrs. Modupe Adelaya, Professor Shunaya, Professor Kila. They're expected to speak here. Comrade Usani, I'll still get to him. He's having challenge, but he's a Twitter person. So, great Nigerian people, it is time for us to bring our shoes. We must organize properly to be able to confront the behemoth in the house, and God bless us as we organize. I thank you very much for listening.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Veteran Shay. That was a very wonderful submission, and I hope everyone got the message that was being passed across. The other speakers, I cannot see them on the space yet, but once they are here, they will request the mic and I will bring them up to the speaker section. Moving on. Oh, yes, she has spoken before. I don't.
Oh, she has spoken.
Yes, she spoke before you.
All right.
Yeah, so we're just.
Who is Momo?
No, it's not Dr. Mo. This is Morris. This is Dr. Paul Moses.
Okay, let me help calling Professor. Is Professor Pat Utomi?
No, not yet.
Okay, let me. The problem with us is this Twitter space. If we're to be Zoom.
Yeah, I was just
let me
that we need to send them this new space because they might be trying to connect to the old.
Oh, we have been trying to do that with the old one. Why did you change?
Prisma already has the link now, so Prisma should have delivered the new link.
Yes, yeah, sent it to the Britain platform. That's where I copied
Yeah,
it.
so if you're on this,
But then
this is the
I didn't send that to Utomi. Let me send it to Utomi now
all right, no problem.
because he has the old one.
Okay, so
Let me transcend. Well, all right. Please carry on. Where's our yes. Anyway, let me get Professor Utomi.
all right.
Veteran, I
I'll be
think
back.
you should. Sorry, veteran. I think you should drop a message on the Big Tent platform and on the civil society platform because everybody will be struggling with this, with the old one. So if you drop it there, they will see. They will just click on it and join. As in all of them are old school
All
people.
right. Yes, thank you. All right.
Well, we learn every day. Okay, let's keep the conversation going. If you are in the speaker section, do well to raise up your hand. Thank you very much. I will pass the mic over to Uncle T.
Thank you so much, Wayne. Please ignore the noise behind me. I hope it's not coming across to you on this face.
No, it's
I'm at a central train station. It's kind of loud. So, um, Veteran Jay, I cannot thank you enough. I just cannot thank you enough for coming onto this space today, right at this moment, right at this juncture in the history of our country. I honestly wish you had made it earlier. And when I say earlier, I mean right after the judgment came out. It would have helped to move a lot of people out of the slumber that they fell into right after the elections. I know you know very well that a lot of people they fell into deep and serious depression. I know a lot that are still struggling with what happened on the 25th of February. A lot of us kept hope alive, hoping that the judiciary will do right by the people. We were disappointed. This is a juncture in our history as a people, as a country, a dangerous one. Though we don't have any hope in the judiciary, I personally don't trust them. I don't expect them to do right by the people, the Supreme Court in this case. But hearing from someone like you would really help to ginger and wake up a lot of obedient and well-meaning Nigerians who know very well what is at stake. We are talking about our country. We have nowhere else to go. That's our only home. And the sooner we keep hearing from folks like you, the better it will be to help the Gen Zs, the millennials, well-meaning Nigerians, both young and old, who still believe that the country can be saved. We all believed in Peter Obi, a lot of us. Time, energy, money, strength. I cannot start giving you figures. I'm pretty sure you put in a good load of hours yourself. So I just want to use this opportunity to thank you so much for coming on now. And I really do hope that we will hear more of this before we finally get to the Supreme Court. Because words from individuals like you, from Madam Hilda Dokubo, helps to lift up the strength, the energy, the passion again to help Nigerians to understand what is at stake. I know we know what is at stake, but we need to hear more from individuals like you, please, that have been there, done that, and you have the t-shirt to show for it. Help us out. Let's watch each other's back and save our country. Thank you so much. And on that note, I yield my mic. When you may back to you.
all right. Thank you, Uncle T. Please, if you are in the speaker section, do well to raise up your hand. Thank you. I'll pass the mic over to Engineer Vin OT. Big Vin, it's been a while we saw you in the space. If you're there, unmute your mic and speak. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Wemi. Good to see you again. Thank you, ObiDients, for the support we received from you last year when we were campaigning for PWB, all the other obedient contestants, and indeed my elder brother, Dr. Alex Oti. It paid off in Abia State, and I hope it's not disappointing. He need our support, he need our prayers, and also we have to hold him accountable. On that note, I just want to say thank you. I took a long break from space after December to look after myself and also to work on my mental health, because the cause of the obedient movement took turn on me. Not only that, it took a lot of money from me, it also took a lot of energy. We're hosting 12, 16 hours on a daily basis. So I just hope that this tempo we had will not be subdued by the elements we are fighting against. Nigerian issue is quite a peculiar one, in the sense that the government, the politicians, they have the algorithm of Nigerian people. Well, I know we are over how many 400 and something people on the space here, and I know there are people who are software engineers and technical, those who understand what I mean by the algorithm. It's a certain step you take to achieve on a certain result. So if you follow that algorithm, the result is going to be the same. So the politicians do have Nigerian, the populace, the algorithm. So what am I saying by that is that Nigerian people are the most docile people in this planet Earth. Nigerians are the most complacent people on this planet Earth. Nigerians they have this lackadaisical attitude of waiting. They have time on their side. They want to wait. Look at what happened under Buhari. I left to United States when Jonathan lost the election. I came down here to study, and my elder brother then, his election was stolen in other states, so I decided to jet out to United States. It's been close to 10 years now, going to 9 years. Do you know how a child of 8 years, what class a child of 8 years will be in primary school today? That's the amount of time we have wasted under Buhari. And yet Nigerian people, what do they say? Oh, let's wait for him in the next 4 years, let him finish. But what we are not looking at is the rot, the problem that these people have created in these 4, 8, 10, 15 years we are letting them be. If you go through the internet today, God, is kind of quite scary. The level of moral decadence we are observing in the cyberspace today, stemming from Nigeria, the kind of news, and you think these issues are quite isolated issues. No, they are not. Just like what Joseph Stalin did in old Soviet Union, the most important thing, the most important valuable thing in a man or a woman, and when I use the man in this context, I'm referring to human being, is your brain. When your brain is captured, when your brain is subdued, you are finished. You become a tool. You become just like a wrench, a spanner to tighten up and loosen up in whatever it is that you are working on. That is what the government have done to the psychic of Nigerians. Oh, not long ago, some of us here abroad, we usually take pride in sending money home, repatriating dollars home. Do you know what we're doing this time around? We are repatriating dollars we have in Nigeria back to the developed countries. So if people like us, Nigerians who were supposed to come home to invest, who were supposed to bring investors, are pulling their own fund from Nigeria, their own country, I wonder what you think other people will do. You are looking for investors. What is the enabling environment? If you go through my page, I'm in Las Vegas. We have renewable energy conference going on in Las Vegas, and I have a very big facility here in Las Vegas. This facility was born during Biden, just a few years, 1 year after Biden administration. He announced this IRA, Inflation Reduction Act. The Inflation Reduction Act was an incentive given to United States manufacturers in steel industry to manufacture here in United States. The company I am working for now usually was in Mexico a year ago. We are here in the strip of Las Vegas. We're the biggest facility here, and we are springing up, spreading like a wildfire. Why? This is the enabling environment created by the government. This is what the government can do to enhance productivity, to increase and create enabling environment for private sectors to thrive. Few seconds ago, I just walked some set of investors from around the world around my facility, and I was explaining to them that this facility you see here, we started January this year. As soon as I came back from Nigeria, I flew down to from North Carolina. I had to relocate to Las Vegas, and I've been here since then. We started January this year. You can't imagine the kind of development. So what am I saying in essence? These are the things that the government do for the people. Create the enabling environment, create the political environment, create the economic environment, then allow the ingenuity in people to thrive. But do we have that in Nigeria? Do we have any plan? Is there any plan in Nigeria apart from somebody trying to be more of patriotic, empty patriotism? Do we have plan? Can you tell me that there's somebody who will be willing to come down? Maybe you see medical doctors, you see people here, where to do Nigerians abroad. Do you think they will be willing to come to invest in Nigeria? What will be the cost of them coming to invest in Nigeria? What will be the, so what I'm saying in general is that Nigerians, we take things so lightly. The last speaker here made a mention of something that I listened to you. I'm speaking from my office. I listened to you. He touched on so many vital issues that has been bedeviling us as a country. Look at the young people today. We always talk about the future belongs to the young. The future belongs to the young. So what is the reason? What is holding us back? What do we have to lose at this point in time? We have to ask ourselves, what do we have to lose? We have lost our country. We have lost how many years? We lost 8 years. Buhari took us back 8 years. And the effect of what Buhari did in the next 30 years, if we start today, if we put a stop from that road, it will take us 30 years to recover from what Buhari did. What about now? Tinubu has started on that platform again. And look at what is going on. What do we want? What are we waiting for? We're waiting for miracle, right? We're waiting for God, right? We're hoping, right? Do you know what will happen in the next 4 years? Do you know what happens in the next 4 years of your life? And people will say, oh, you guys are in abroad, you are doing this. To hell with that, pardon my French. There is no place like home. Some of us did not come out abroad to stay. We came out to acquire education, acquire more education and knowledge, and come back home to invest. But there is no home to invest right now. Usually you send money to invest in Nigeria. Now you send money to keep people alive. Hospital bills, feeding, people are committing suicide. This is happening.
I'm sorry, Engineer Zane. I don't know what's happening with veterans' mic. It keeps interfering. Apologies. Please go ahead.
So I don't know. There's an interference. So what I was saying, can you hear me? Wemi, can you hear me?
I can
Yes.
hear you. I don't know what's happening. Should I drop him?
It looks like somebody's mic is on.
Yes.
Veteran has his mic on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Veteran. So what I'm saying in essence is this. In 2000, Veteran, your mic is on again.
I think I'm gonna drop him and he can request. Okay, he's muted the mic. Alright, go ahead.
Yeah. So
I'm talking, but if you keep on muting.
in 2000 and in 2000 and
Bertrand, sorry, Engineer Jane. Bertrand, I'm going to drop you. Request the mic back again, and I'll accept you. All right, Engineer Jane, go ahead.
thank you very much. In 2000 and I think 2012, during when Emir Sanusi was still the governor of CBN, I attended a TED talk where he held in Abuja, and he was talking about the young people. If the 60% of Nigerians as at then were young people between the ages of 18, between the ages of 18 to 43 young people. So if those people, 70%, if those people come out to vote for one of their own, that they will take over Nigerian leadership. The change, the much needed change we've been preaching for God knows how long now. I've been hearing this for the past 49 years of my life being a Nigerian, and it's the same story. So what is going on with us? Why can't we? What, sometimes I try to understand the essence of life. I try to understand if there's any other meaning to life than what we are seeing as a Christian, that what we have seen in the Bible. I don't know if there's any other. I don't know the most important thing in life other than living with people, using your talent, using the people's money, using yours as God will lead you to help other people. I don't know. Honestly, I can't understand. So what are we waiting for? Why are we not on the street? We are scared of death. Are we living? We are barely existing. We are barely existing. People are committing suicide on the cyberspace, streaming it live. These are our brothers and sisters. These are our Nigerians. Look at this form of government that we have today. The same form of government that Joseph Stalin had during the USSR time. What are they doing? They are working on our psyche. They are making Nigerians poorer and poorer and poorer, so that they will become more tools in their hand to use. And the worst part of it is that we don't have any other place to go. Look at the embassies we are looking for today. They are not giving Nigerians visa. They won't give you visa. They know the problem we have in Nigeria. 200 million people cannot japa, for God's sake. 200 million people. So the Nigerians are not in shortage of knowledge. We're not in shortage of people that will come up on the cyberspace like this and talk. People, orators, people who will speak English and do this and that and say this and then gratify themselves, justify themselves, and then they will hang up and say, "I yield the mic." We're not short of that. I can barely hear anything new than what we had when we were promoting the obedient movement. I could barely hear nothing. So that is even why I don't even come to space anymore. What am I coming to listen to? But this is quite incumbent on us today, for us to really ask ourselves, if we continue in this level of complacency we have accepted, it is just gonna get worse and worse and worse. Like the Newton's law of motion state, a body will remain on a stable state until it's being acted upon by a force. A body will remain. If you keep a stone, it's gonna be there forever until a force, a breeze, or vehicle or something hit that stone. It has to move. We are dealing with a body that a force need to be acted upon. We are dealing with a well-structured and tape-rooted cartel that only dream they have is to hold Nigeria down. That is who we're dealing with. And they can only succeed because of how they have been able to figure us out. They will succeed if we allow it. Enough is enough. When we say enough is enough, when everybody comes, how many people will you kill? You will shoot that gun to the point that you will turn that gun against yourself. Remember, the soldiers, even the legislator, even the so-called judges, they live in the society. They live in the society. The army alone cannot guide them forever. The army cannot guide their children forever. And they're not also isolated abroad. We have Nigerians all over the place. They think they can come out and run to one place in Canada and hide like Underka did. There's no place in this world that Nigerians are not, and there's no place that cannot be reached. So there's no safe haven. So Nigerians, if there's an organized way of coming out to protest for this, I would like to be involved. I would like to keep contributing like I've always done before. But we have to be resolved. We have to kill sabotage among ourselves. We had a lot of saboteurs during the time or during last year when we were spacing. A lot of people cashed on, a lot of people capitalized on. We knew all those things, but we kept it aside because we wanted to achieve a goal for Nigeria. All we need is a Nigerian that will work for everyone. I don't want a Nigerian. My brother is a governor. Am I in Abia State? I'm not there. I don't care. I don't give a hoot about that. That position that should come to me, somebody else should have that position. It's not all about me. It's not all about us. It's about the people of Nigeria. And that's why I'm speaking on a low tone. Those who know me, I don't speak so soft like this. I'm speaking a low tone because I'm in an office and I'll soon be getting out to, do the job that I'm being paid to do. But I have to lend my voice to this struggle. I have to lend my voice and support to this struggle. Hilda, thank you very much for what you did. We met in Port Harcourt. Thank you for all that you do. I've seen a lot of people here that I'm just connecting to, Auntie Bolanle and the rest of them. I saw Ankadede earlier on, and so many people. Magnificent dude, and so many people. Yeah, Ankadede is still. I saw a lot of people, a lot of compatriots, IK boy, those who we started this struggle with. And I'm glad that you guys are just, you are resolute to this on this. Please let us reunite again. Anything, any support that you need from us. Sometime last year, our accounts were frozen. Mine was affected. But as God will have it, we got things back again. We will keep lending that support. We will keep giving that support for a better Nigeria. So I will employ us. I will urge us to look at this. Let's look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture here is that we have a country that is in quagmire. We have a country that is performing abysmally. We have a known drug lord, a world-renowned drug lord, leading the most populous black nation on earth. If there's no reason why anybody should come out of the street, just for that singular reason that the most populous black nation is in their need of its people to rise up and take a step of bettering. Nigerians are holding black nation down. Nigeria as a country, we are holding black nation down. We are disgracing our black brothers across the world. We are disgracing all other African countries. And how long will we continue to endure this? How long? When do you think this problem, you think this problem is going to solve itself? It's not going to solve itself. Buhari did all he did. He looted all he looted. He brought in somebody that will cover him up. Tinubu will loot all he could. He also brings somebody that will cover him up. So it will be from one protege to another protege to another protege. So it's not gonna, it will be a war without end. And Nigeria will keep going down and suffering and suffering and suffering. So in submission, please, whatever it is that we are doing this time around, let us have an open mind. Let us resolve. Let us define it. Let us go with a purpose. And let us go with one another, knowing that we are working. We may not even be the one to benefit from this. Let it be that we are doing something for generation yet unborn. Let us make that investment that our founding fathers made to grant us independence. Let us put our name on the stone of time. So I thank you, Wayme. I thank you, every one of you, for organizing this space. And I hope, and I'm open to be contacted. Any kind of help you guys need around, I am open. My DM, everything is open. I don't lock nothing. So let us come back again and support our country. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And thank you. May God bless Nigeria. I yield my mic at this juncture. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer Vin. That was very, very emotive.
Are you there?
Yeah,
Well, minute.
I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was speaking. I had no idea my mic was muted. Literally, I'm saying thank you, Engineer Vin, for that very emotive and browsing space, then I feel as like
Anyways,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I was going to
Um,
say, Nell, is that
my
from your
my
background?
mic. Yeah, my mic just keeps sniffing. I don't know what's happening.
network, I guess.
Maybe you're experiencing INX, sorry.
Bruh,
All
as
right. If
in,
you are in the speaker section and you want to say something, do well to raise up your hand. Thank you. While we wait for the other speakers to be here.
I was actually saying, I don't know, can you guys hear me? Because
Yes,
my
network.
background.
I can hear you and I can hear your car engine.
See, I don't have any car engine, no. I'm inside the house.
Okay.
Probably network.
All right. Just
Is
keep
it
your mic.
noisy?
Just keep your mic muted. Okay. UC, over to you, please.
Um, Good evening, Nedo. Good evening, Waimi. Good evening, well-meaning Nigerian, Mr. Tony. Hey, Mama Hilda. Good evening to you, ma. It's a pleasure to have you, Engineer Vin. After running away since the elections, trying to regain your momentum back, you are welcome once again. And everybody, Jimmy, I see you down there, Bolanli, Magnific Dude, Madonna, Kadede, Honorable Adora, Mr. Colladi. Good evening to everybody. Judgment versus justice. Ah, it's a lot. It's a lot. You see, the great Lord Den in MR have provided for or has provided us many quotes that as lawyers or as people who are members of the legal profession we can always run to tap from his wealth of wisdom. And in one of them he says that our courts are courts of law, but may they never cease to be courts of justice. So irrespective that the courts must apply the law, the courts must remain courts of justice, because in the very duty of the application of the law, it has to be founded on the principles of justice, because one of the functions of the court, one of the functions of law, is to create order, peace, justice, fairness, a lot of them, as you may like to mention. So, our courts dispensing justice, or have they become courts of technicalities? You see, one problem about technicality is that technicality is a part of the law. It is actually a part of the law. But any technicality that impedes justice, that technicality is not supposed to be held on to. So if there's any technicality that its application would show that justice is not being done, that technicality should be thrown into the bin as fast and as quick as possible. What we've seen coming out of the election petition tribunal, it's nothing short of, I don't know, a misapplication of the law. The court misdirected itself. The court erred in applying the provisions of the law on all grounds. In fact, the only place I can say that they didn't err is when they were talking about a person's membership. That is when you want to talk about membership to a political party and whether an outsider can question it, or whether by being sponsored by that political party to be their candidate in an election, that you have duly fulfilled the provisions of the law. So there is the law under section that is section, let me try to remember, section 149 of the Electoral Act. I think section 149 gives minority to some guidelines, and that these regulations and guidelines would be for the purposes of conducting elections, to see that everything that has not been provided for under the Electoral Act can further be contained in these regulations and guidelines, so that elections can be free, fair, and credible. In the provisions of the Electoral Act, the law gives INEC the discretion to decide how it wants to conduct. And INEC further exercise that discretion by doing what? By providing for that regulations and guidelines. You see, one of the problems I have with the judgment of the court is that the judgments refuse to refer to bodies of laws that have upheld several decisions. If they had looked at it, they wouldn't have even spent all the time that they spent in coming up with this judgment at all. I'll give you an instance. Now, under the provisions or by law, I will give you a particular case where it was held. In fact, there are a lot of them that where INEC has provided for a subsidiary legislation, that subsidiary legislation is deemed to form part of the laws, part of the Electoral Act, and it becomes binding on INEC, who has created it. There, you can see that in the case of Judah and another versus Salau. This case was held in 2019. You can also see another case of Wombo and another versus Bandi. You know, in all of these cases, I can list a lot of them for you. The court held that once you have provided for a regulation and guideline, it becomes binding on you. You cannot rescind it. But INEC provided a regulation and guideline, and in the middle of the game, they changed it. Is this just? Can such judgment be deemed as a dispensation of justice? Another thing is, if you guys remember, there was a time I was talking about something becoming of judicial notice. Anything that is contained in the provisions of the law is deemed to have become of judicial notice. So, where there is something provided in a subsidiary legislation or even a law, the law is going to recognize it. The court is going to recognize it as being of judicial notice. So what happened with the regulation and guidelines is that the court refused to take, and when I talk about judicial notice, I'm simply talking about something that is now to the knowledge of the court. So the court cannot run away from it, individuals cannot run away from it because it is provided in the law. So the court refused to take judicial notice of the regulations and guidelines, which stated that there shall be an upload and electronic transmission to a collation system and further to the IREV. Not only that, in this same judgment, they told us that the Federal Capital Territory is now the 37th state in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And it led me to, announce my commitment and a quick dive into politics. Yes, I'm now a politician and I'll be vying for the seat of governor of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Because when I was reading that judgment, I was marveled. If the court has stated that provision actually talks about that the 25% should be gotten in 37 territories or 37 areas, I would understand. But the court used the word 37 states. It is unheard of that within the provisions of the Constitution has provided that there shall be 36 states. And the law went ahead in the first schedule to list these 36 states and their local government areas, their capitals, Abia, Adamawa, Bauchi, all of them were listed there. And another separate provision of law now stated that there shall be created for the Federal Republic of Nigeria a place that shall be known as the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, a territory, not even a state, because it does not even have the features of a state. It does not have a governor. It does not have commissioners. Absolutely nothing. But the law or the court looked at the provisions of this law, looked at the cases before it, looked at the arguments before it, and called FCT Abuja a state. It's actually a pity, because if we can no longer get justice from the courts, I wonder where we can get it. I truly wonder where we can get justice. If we cannot get justice from the courts, where else can we get justice? Another thing about this judgment is that there is no commitment from justices who have spent close to or more than 40 years in this legal profession. Some of them, during the subsistence of this case, we are talking about how they've been lawyers or how they've been in the profession for more than 40 years. And in the entirety of this judgment, they could not talk about how to solidify a proper and credible electoral system. They did not reprimand INEC for what? For the monumental fraud that INEC committed on the 25th of February and on the 1st of March. Nothing. Nobody was punished. Nobody was reprimanded. Absolutely nothing. It shows you that these judges are only ready to continue to support impunity by their judgments. That the INEC chairman approached the National Assembly and requested for over 300 million naira for the purposes of conducting an election, incorporating the BVAS machine into the election, creating a portal system for it, creating a back end, creating a repository that will house results from the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. But they failed on these promises. Where did the monies go into? INEC went to the court and told the court that they experienced glitch, that there were over how many million attacks on their portal prior to elections. All these claims before the court were not proven by a single evidence. By a single evidence, it was not proven. They did not bring IT specialists from INEC to prove it. They did not bring AWS, the people who handle their application on AWS from INEC to prove it. They did not bring paper trails. They did not bring data. They did not bring anything to show that indeed there was a glitch and that this glitch hampered with it. But the court upheld the views of INEC, the views of their lawyers, the views of Tinubu, the views of APC, the views of Shetima. I find it rather baffling that we are at this point where a hallowed court like the Court of Appeal cannot do a circumspect job to carefully consider the law. Carefully, see, if this judgment is given by a magistrate, believe you me, I will understand. Because for some of them, if you have the proper connect, immediately you are even called to bar. You can be a magistrate. It happens. Even though they say that the normal thing is that you must be at least 2 years at the bar before you can be a judge or before you can become a magistrate of the magistrate court or this area courts and the likes. If this judgment was even given by a high court, maybe or a customary court of appeal, I will understand. But we are talking about a superior court of record provided for in the Constitution, established by the Constitution, whose leadership is appointed by the President, confirmed by the Senate, and they are giving us such a poorly done job with all the time they had, that in the entirety of the 798-page document of a judgment, the court spent more time arguing the case of the respondents than they even spent deciding the case that was placed before them. It's unfortunate that these things will continue to happen. And of course, there's already a ripple effect. It is happening. For instance, we saw the judgment coming out from the tribunal, which held the argument that a person who questions the primaries of another party can in fact be right in law, where Ikenga Ugochinyere was removed by the tribunal. We've seen the same thing also where the case of Kempela was thrown away before it was taken to Court of Appeal, and then they were asked for a retrial. These things will continue. Remember also, like I like to tell people, there is a judgment of courts regarding the issue of subpoena. That judgment of court is the case of APM versus INEC, the PDP, and Honorable Benson. There were 4 parties in that suit, where APM were the petitioners and 3 other respondents. And the court held that it would manifest injustice for the court to compel a person by a subpoena to come to court. And then after the court orders the person to come to court and the person testifies, the person issues the subpoena, the person tenders a witness statement on oath, the person tenders evidence, does his subpoena testificandum or subpoena decides to come to tender documents or to testify. And then, I see you, sir. And then the court will now turn back.
Sorry guys, Prof is here.
The court will now turn back and send away the person that because you did not file it. These things are not in line with the provisions of the law, and it's unfortunate that we are seeing it coming out from the courts. So please, I want to state this here: the business at the Court of Appeal is not done. Remember that all the other election petition tribunals will be approaching the Court of Appeal, which will be giving judgments. So the earlier we realize that even the Court of Appeal job is not done, the better for us. Imagine that Justice Samani is still presiding over.
You see.
Yes.
Okay, Prof, go on.
You can you hear me?
Okay.
All right. Apologies
Yeah.
for intruding, but Prof is here. Would like to hear from you.
I hope you can hear me. I apologize. It's been very frustrating since 5 o'clock Nigerian time. I've been trying to microphone being opened. I have had a challenge. I'm not sure why. I even have a second device that is trying to open at this point. But whatever it is, I hope you are able to hear me. I want to say that in spite of everything that we can say about the state of our nation, that a country that has the kind compatriots. Nation building is work in progress, and I know that we will issues and challenges that we eventually will overcome by God's grace. But for some of us who do not take any perfectionist view of nation building and recognize that there are stats and stuff that the problem is, the present situation is just far too much to bear. And it's not just that it's too much to bear, it is that if we don't do something extraordinary and dramatic, the consequences may be hard to redeem in terms of the desire we have for a country that we are proud of. And why do I say this? I mean, the sense of deja vu that I feel, having been in the struggle for so long, obviously does not begin to compare to the sense of foreboding, sense of fear that I have about the current state of our country. And let me put it in some context so that you may have a feeling for why I am almost desperate that my whole life's work is about to go to waste. Throughout human history, our societies have evolved in a way people have studied and can tell you, the reason why some countries are better than others.
Prof,
My entire
your background is so noisy. Your background is very noisy. I don't know.
No, Prof, your background is kind of noisy. The background is noisy.
Noisy?
Yes.
Well, let me see. Yeah, okay, if you could talk. But let me walk towards somewhere that might not be as noisy. I'm in a lounge. I'm trying to catch a flight from the US into Europe. All part of this, our project. But it's let me see, you can go to the quiet part of the lounge. The quiet part. Now, am I easier to hear from here?
I think it's better now.
Is it better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was saying that, I have had 50 years of this struggle. 50 years beginning in 1973 as a young undergraduate at the University of Nigeria. Kunle Adequiju had been killed by the police in Ibadan, University of Ibadan. And the students marched out, protesting that year, the year after, wanting justice for Kunle Adequiju. And the establishment tried to fight the student population. Now, if you remember, at that time, there were only 5 universities actually in the country. And the one that I was at had just come out of the Civil War. A civil war during which, while their colleagues were going to school elsewhere in the country, they not only lost closest friends and relatives, they lost 3 years. Most of them entered the university in 1967 and were still there in 1973. So, from an emotional point of view, they just didn't want to be bothered. They just wanted to focus and get done with their studies. And emotions matter. That's what we're dealing with now. These emotions are being dredged up in all kinds of ways today. However, there were those of us who saw human solidarity as central to our humanity. And we try to rally students at Nsukka to come up in solidarity with students elsewhere in Nigeria. By January 1974, all the universities in the country had been closed down by the authorities except UNN for the public demonstrations. And I mobilized students to block the gates at the University of Nigeria. And also students. We found very willing together. We generated enough. Vice Chancellor, Professor Kodlinye, at the time invited us to a meeting and then gave us the right to hold a rally. It was during this rally at 8:30 p.m. It came out 8:30 a.m. in error. 8:30 p.m. A certain activist called Chairman P was speaking. Today, the 6th of February, 1974, will be remembered as a day that the people who were mentally demobilized after the Civil War were physically demobilized after the Civil War, were finally meant to shout as people shout in rallies. When it occurred to me that it was my birthday, my 18th birthday. Now you can imagine the kind of passion that leads you to forgetting your birthday. Since then, we have been in trenches one after the other. We think that after 50 years, that the fruits will lead our country to progress. However, unfortunately for us, our country has had a succession of very self-centered people who have cornered the leadership position in the country. In doing that, they have literally put a block on progress. And most people who don't think deeply enough don't understand how dangerous that is. Now, my research main interest, I wrote a book in 2006, published in 2006, that was titled Why Nations Are Poor. So that central issue keeps haunting me. And what is said to me is that One, investment in human capital. You can go back to history, look at Spain versus the rest. 300 years ago, you can just go on and on and on. I can show very clearly. What is terrible about our current experience is that all of those conditions are going south in an unbelievable way. If you take the fact that values shape human progress, and that character matters, they say, when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. When character is lost, all is lost. Do you consider that almost all who now lead in the country, whether it's the executive branch, the legislative branch, or the judicial branch, we're looking at huge character deficits in all of these people? If that is the case, I can guarantee you that you can fuss around, make all kinds of funny announcements, go to Dubai, announce one thing. Progress is going nowhere. So if this is where we are, then it's desperation time. What in American football they call the time for a Hail Mary pass. And because of this, I, realize that a citizenship duty to all rise today. If we don't, we may have no country to save. So this is my challenge. Now, as we speak, I'm about to go into yet another meeting with a group of governors. It's scheduled for 7 p.m. And now, this struggle has pushed to 7 p.m. I see I can hear them calling me on the phones now. But we need every real citizen now to rise, each one creating their mode of expression, their mode of challenging the current order until we can renew our country. Unless we can do that, we're on the road to Somalia, God forbid. With the great potential and everything that our country has, we cannot afford to go that way. Just look at what's happening in the Lagos State House. It tells you exactly where the mindset has brought us. We don't need technocrats. We don't need people who think. Just for people who can carry ballot boxes and let's share positions to them. That's where our country has come to. We are the laughing stock of the world in spite of all the talents that we have. In this age that has been described as the aristocracy of talent, the age of aristocracy of talent, we are floundering. It will take you and I doing everything to bring the attention of the world to say enough is enough for progress to really come to our country. And I plead with all of you to do everything that you have to make that happen. I think I'll stop there. I'll probably be able to come in at some other point in the conversations. But you are the hope of the country, and your acting is of utmost importance to saving our country. Thank you. Thank you, Osagi, for bringing this up.
Right. Thank
I
you.
hope I've said
Yes. Okay. And there goes Prof. Thank you very much, Prof, for your submission. Thank you, Osagi, for helping connect with Prof. I believe, okay, he's muted now. I believe we all heard of the country is ours. It's ours to fight for. Like it or not, no matter where you want to, you will always be identified as a Nigerian. And you don't want a situation whereby your only crime, your only sin is being Nigerian, right? So this is the time where we need to really, really clean the country so we don't face a stigma that is so not necessary at the end of the day. I'm just going to yield. Because right now I know a lot of people have something to say. So this is the part where I keep quiet and let every other person talk. As I said, I don't have much to say. Everything that I need to say, I've said in the beginning of the space. So the space is all yours. All I have to do is moderate and bring up speakers. Okay. Who is going to go next? Okay, God. Okay, God, over to you, please. And heads up, the space is going to end in an hour's time. We've been here for quite some time, so the space is going to end in an hour's time. All right, okay, God, if you're there, over to you. Please unmute your mic and speak. Thank you. Is okay, God there? Oh, okay. I think she's still connecting. All right, comrade. And if you're in the speaker section, do also raise up your hand. Comrade, over to you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Depending on where you're from. The situation of Nigeria today is really a thing of tears to every young people across the world. And for us, Nigeria, we have lost hope in the system. The system has been hijacked by few individuals who impose on us, the people of Nigeria, the leadership that we did not voted for. We must actually, go to the gutter with them if we want to reclaim this mandate. If we want to reclaim our rights as people, we must dance with them like the pigs. If they want to the gutter, we go to the gutter with them. If they want to go to the moon, we go to the moon with them. If not, we will continue to cry and nothing will change. We allowed a nomadic man who knows nothing, next to nothing because of tribalism. We allowed him to plunder our economy for 8 good years. And this is where we are right now. And the people rose up to challenge the status quo, voting who they think will deliver their country, voted without tribalism, voted without religious sentiment. The same few cabals sat somewhere, used their own system, and hijacked the will of the people. Every right sense thinking Nigerian must rise up. Do the needful, even if it involves protesting, to make sure that this mandate is reclaimed. That's my own suggestion. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, comrade. All right, and I will, please, if you are on the speaker section, do also raise up your hand. I will go with the people who have their hands raised. Your hand raised and waving are absolutely two different things. They are absolutely two different things. So I will go with I stand. I stand. Over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Waimi. I totally agree with Prof's submission, but before I add to what Professor Utomi said, just a bit about the judgment and what have been, what has been the narrative from some very popular lawyers. I don't want to mention their name. Quite ridiculous and quite unfortunate when I hear when they talk. So there is this sense and there's this narrative that is being pushed out. Say whenever things happen as a fallout of of our laws or processes, rather than talk accountability, self-accountability, and consequence, we talk about making more laws. So I hear things like, what do we think we can do, to improve our electoral laws and processes? No, we don't need to do anything. No, we need to make people who have not been held accountable to account for their misdemeanors. We need to, push for consequences. You have an electoral body that passed an act. National Assembly passed an act to enable the electoral body to conduct elections. And some of the principles of that act was, one, to enhance and uphold public trust, to promote transparency, and all that. I didn't see the justices, delve into that matter. That where is the public trust? Where has the public trust been held? What about transparency? Was there anything like transparency? Because I am worried that these justices are not concerned that a man who's purported to rule over 200 million people, less than 8 million or thereabout people voted for him, and they want that man to sit down there in Aso Rock and be our president. That number frightens me. That very idea of not having these people held accountable for what they did worries me. That's the problem, and that goes to the very core of what Professor Utomi is saying. That one, we need people with character, and if you have institutions that have people with character, people who have the capacity, and people whose value orientation is one that speaks truth to power, people who understand consequences and self-accountability, then we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a country that will be worse than Somalia. So people should stop talking about moving on. No, we don't need more laws. They should stop it. Every time there's an election, you're looking forward to the National Assembly, trying to amend the laws. Nigeria is a country with so many laws. We are overloaded. And I'm one of those persons who believe that it is not every part of human behavior that you have to legislate. People must act like human beings. People must have values. Values make societies what they are. It's why people want to rush to America and Canada. And it is because they have a value orientation that holds people to account for their actions and their consequences. So this talk about no, we cannot move on. There is no moving on. There is no amendment. Because if you amend the Constitution and then you have a Justice Samani who would sidestep that same Constitution and bring what is called fraudicalities, as they call it, technicalities, they would always find a reason to do a hatchet man's job. It's unfortunate, and this is where we are in this country. We should stop talking about moving on. And that's why, in my own little way, I'm doing all I can in my own corner to make people understand that for those who are responsible for where we are, they must be held to account. Every one of them. I don't have to come and say what I'm doing on spaces. I don't do that because I treat information as a commodity on a need-to-know basis. So I won't sit down on spaces, but I'm doing my little part to make the people in my own corner understand where we're at and why we cannot have this kind of country. It is not going to work. So we should stop trying to talk about moving on. You go on national TV because you have access to come and talk to people. You now tell them, you know what, the OB's legal team, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. And I think, okay, the National Assembly should go further and, see where they can make it very easy for, the petitioners to have a successful petition. And then also INEC should be put in a situation where they should also come and defend the elections they conducted. Look, if you shift the goalposts to make INEC to come to court and defend the elections, it's the same human beings that you have who do not have any, moral fiber in their being. These same characters, if we do not address that issue of capacity, that issue of human capital, that issue of value, if we do not address it now, and you go and do laws these same human beings will sit down in the hollow chambers, in the courts, and do the same thing. And we'll be back where we are again. And that's where we've been, because we do not talk consequences. See, I'm going to round up now. I think at the point where we are right now, whatever anybody can do, what I want to advise is, let it be well planned, let it be strategic. We don't have to act irrationally, but we must act. But in our acting, we must plan in such a way that we will hit this same faulty system hard, where it will crash them down and it will take the people seriously. I yield.
All right, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello, I can hear you.
Okay. Is my background too noisy?
Yes, your background is noisy. Hello.
Oh, it's so noisy.
Just mute your mic, thank you. Again, if you're on the speaker section, do well to raise up your hand. Over to you, Auntie Hilda. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. I was just going to sit through, but I don't know if any of you have noticed that they started off a campaign yesterday on somebody name any mega projects that SPIO carried out in Anambra. Like I always say, we don't respect to them, but we on our own pages point out all the great things he has done. What are they doing? They're targeting him now to pull him down, knowing also that, some people are already, well, let's move on, let's move on. I agree with the last person, there's nowhere to move to. There is nowhere to move to. We have to just deal with this now. That's one campaign that they have kicked off. They have also kicked off another campaign. INEC is saying now they want to publish the results. Where did they get the results that they want to publish now? So it means that whatever trading happened with the judges also happened again and afresh with INEC. I recall INEC saying they had glitches. So suddenly they don't have them. They now have results that they want to push out. Whose results are those? Three, I don't know if you have also noticed that their same campaign team are already pushing out things about what the judges said or didn't say. They're trying to force us to believe what does not exist. Whilst we're looking at judgment versus justice, we all know that that judgment is clearly unjust. We know that that judgment was, judgment that even the judge was petrified to read. So much so that they spent 8 hours reading. Words began to sound very heavy. I'm sure that they read some paragraphs and they were like, Jesus, a judge wrote this? But, they had collected too much. Their hands were soiled, their mouth was full. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't throw up. So they spent all that time. We need to, those of us that are lawyers here, certain judgments concerning some of the things that they destroyed on that day need to begin to speak. There are a few things that we must also begin to hit and hit really hard. If the Constitution, the election, is what gives right to the Constitution, what do I mean by that? It is government of the people, by the people, for the people. So it is people voting in people to serve them. That's the clear meaning. We didn't vote this person. We didn't. And this we the people is not us. This we the people here in this instance is actually the judiciary and INEC. Only these two people are the judiciary, and it's not even all of the judiciary, because amongst the judiciary we still have people with brains. As for the legislature, we don't even know what they're doing. They are not looking at the laws, nothing. They're not coming up with new ones or even empowering old ones. They're not doing anything. They're just sitting down there sharing part of the 40 billion. I'll be 17 billion. God knows how many billion they give to them to share. So it's just been money, 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 money going. In this last 100 days, several things have happened in several countries. I think that this is not just about taking back our country. It's also about, since you people have killed this constitution, can we get it off the way? So there's no constitution anymore, because Nigeria has no constitution, and if Nigeria has no constitution, then Nigeria is not a country. It's just as simple as that. Then it means that it is time to reconstitute Nigeria. So we are either reconstituting peacefully or the way they want it, because it is not us. ObiDients have been very peaceful. Everything we have ever done has been peaceful. We have never ever done anything unruly. They are the ones who sent us out. They're the ones who sent people to shoot. They're the ones who sent people to carry ballot boxes and to run around. ObiDients have never done that. We have never pushed that agenda. But we're at a point where we must, that's, I think it's Bob Marley, get up, stand up for your right. I think this is when it should be played every day on radio, every day on TV, in our cars. We should begin to say it is time to stand up for our right. Maybe we need self-motivation. Maybe that's what we all need. We need self-motivation to get up and move. There are individuals amongst us we know who are right now in deeper shit than when we took off. Forgive my French. Than when we took off. They've collected money, so much money. The people who were at the tribunal, they called some of them back. As for the ones in River State, they paid some of them 7 million, some of them 10 million. We know them by names, and they know me. I tell them straight to their face. I don't have time for rubbish. I don't. But the Constitution, maybe that's what we need to all hit now and hit down. Maybe, maybe not. But we all need to begin to speak up. Those items that they have raised, don't go to their pages to respond. All of us who know all the mega things, I don't know how people do not know that being able not to put a state, to have a state operate in corruption, is a huge achievement. We need to begin to point out those great things that PO did that no other government, no other governor achieved in their state. Nobody can begin to equate PO and Obiano, I don't know what his name is. Nobody, there's no comparison. There's no comparison even with Soludo. Soludo needs to work at least 20 years to catch up with P2B. So let's begin to on our own pages so that we drown them. This nonsense that they are pushing around on Twitter needs to stop, and stop immediately. So please, I just saw those things online. I thought I'd mention it to this house so that we can begin to deal with them. We must not allow anybody throw any smear of any kind in the path of on the path of P2B. Please, it's very important that we preserve his integrity and honor. He came with it to run. We do not allow anybody smear him. Anybody, we don't care who he is. He didn't do drugs with them. He didn't fake his certificate with them. He didn't forge anything with them. He didn't commit perjury. Nobody should try to rub that on him. Trying to call him a liar is wrong. So we must protect that part of us, because if we don't do that, then they're going to begin to also come for some of us and want to smear us. We don't need that, not now. I yield the mic.
Thank you very much, Auntie Hilda. Thank you for that submission. I hope that's clear. We know what to do at this point. Okie dokie. I will pass the mic to Alogra, Peter Obi's second son, Chukwu Neka 49488. Alogra, over to you, please, if you are there. Alogra, are you there?
Good evening, all. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good evening, house. I greet everybody once again. My own, I don't have much to say. I've been an advocate of taking by force. The Bible said that since the death of John the Baptist, the kingdom suffered violence. I don't believe in too much talking. I don't know how to talk. I can't even speak. I'm a man of action. I've said it several times in any place I had the opportunity to speak. Let us gather ourselves back like those days of 1 million man. By this, by the time these people find out that these people cannot stop, I believe that nobody, as far as Nigeria is concerned, that is staying in this country that is alive. If we should die, death, let us all die at once and let this country go. Let us mobilize ourselves. And much as even if it is in that Abuja, Jonathan, wouldn't mind. I've said it, I mean, presently in Delta State. I can sponsor people. We will go to that Abuja, we will die. We will not even eat. If impossible, or some people can be cooking and be like answers. Let them be bringing. If we keep on talking like this, these people will be laughing at us. They have caught us unaware. I said it, Mary, that useless. I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry to use this word, but don't mind me. That because I believe that she was the one, coupled with fashion, that wrote this rubbish that these people came up. They thought that they are judges. They are not judges. You understand? Let us cap in Abuja. By the time that they will, if let them bring out their DSS and everything, all of us are in the cells. Let them go and build more cells. By the time they will see that these people cannot be controlled, they will temper the justice. Even military, if possible, let military take over. Because they know understand this constitution. They know that what these people did, that this man is what he's doing is to buy his way through. You understand? As far as the judges in Nigeria, he has bought everybody. So they are going to rule. But they don't know the constitution. They understand that these people, yes, they are right, they are fighting for their own rights, for the constitution to be upheld. So if anything that we can do, let us call that so day, let everybody come out. We are going to do minimum match for justice. This is not judgment. This is not judgment. This is not justice. They just want to pass judgment. Imagine judges defending them, and they come to defend Tinubu, making excuses for him, and we are here talking. What are we saying? They will say there is only talking that we will talk. We will see we talking like this from now until January. Nothing will happen if we didn't take action. My own is let us take action. And I say that people are abroad should design polo with these useless judges and say, look at the people that make it holy, the people that kill democracy in Nigeria. If anything should happen to Nigeria as a democratic institution or state, they should hold these 5 judges, including Fachola and the military, responsible, because that's the one that put Nigeria into this mess. Nobody, I can't blame. I'm not blaming Tinubu because if I offer them money and they reject, nobody will be talking about this rubbish. So please, let us take action. Let us stop talking. Let us put a date. Let us show these people, yes, we are forced. We are alive now. If we happen, if we try to act now, this country will go down. God forbid that this country will go down. Thank you, everybody, and I yield my.
All right, thank you very much, Alova. We'll be taking 2 more speakers and we will end the space. Again, if you are in the speaker section, raise up your hands. If your hands are not raised, I'm going to skip you. Scout's honor, I will skip you. Okay, nobody's hands are raised. Nello, are you there? Nello, if you're
No,
there.
sorry, I raised up my hand. Do you see my hand?
No, I did not see your hand.
Okay, my hand was up, so I'll be waiting since.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, this is Robert. My fellow colleague, my senior brother, spoke before, which is Professor Pat Utomi, and what he said is very clear. I think his speech today was, or is different from kind of more direct, a little bit more direct, though some details are missing. Why? Because maybe we live in Nigeria. But thank God that we heard him. I think I also like what you see Marcel also say in his video. If you are there, maybe you're listening. I saw the video, I was happy. That was words of protest, words of speak now, words of stop talking, words of action. And the last speaker also spoke. And the previous two speakers also spoke. And the last lady also spoke. Again, action. And today I'm a little bit tired. Before I go take a shower, I'm going to speak what I want to say right now before I go and watch football to release my energy, to ease my tension. Today I spent about 5 hours, and we are less than 100 on that space. And we do the space every day, and the space is focused on action. So I want to round up with this. I think, and that space, what we do, I want people to come and correct me, to teach me, or how to do it better. And these are the things we need to welcome right here on space. We want to really gain what we want to gain. So I begin with 3 words and end with 3 words. Number 1 is what and how. You know, why the failure of the judgment? One of the reasons is us, Nigerians. We are the reason. They went that way. And why the success we made online, the contribution, the 1 million, all those beautiful things. We are the one responsible for that success. That we won the election. We did all we can do. It was not talk online. It was talk with action. And we were monitoring the process, all the spaces, from violence to 1 million march and all that spaces. We are focused on monitoring. After our election, we made the biggest error. And that's why I talk on my spaces. I said, let's come and talk about the errors we make that motivated these judges to do what they did. Because if the people are quiet, judges will do the same thing in the Supreme Court. So that's the why. Why? And why do we need change? Nobody will know. We don't know how to talk about why we need change in Nigeria. I will go to the next one. What? The answer is, what can we do now? There's a quote that says that if you keep doing the same thing, you get the same result. So if ObiDients and all well-meaning Nigerian big tech, we keep doing the same talk online, it will get to Supreme Court. It will pass Supreme Court. The same result we're going to get. So what can we do? We need to do something new, and that something new will be exactly what we do it before election. I said this on spaces, they took the mic from me. They didn't allow me. But now we see the result. So what we need to do right now is to do everything in unison. Not you go and do what you want to do. Everything unison. We have to promote this peaceful protest. We have to analyze what protest is all about. But most people don't know about protest. They think it's violence and the spirit is only protest. We have to talk about the antecedents of protests around the world. So we have to focus on protest so that everything we do, we're going to empower that. Put that what to be done into action. Because it takes action to take a country, not talk, like some speakers have said already. And that's what I believe in before, and up to now, and forever. Right? So we have to work together and do massive protests, non-stop, peacefully. It does not necessarily mean we have to be million march only. No, million march will be going on, and other things will be going on. That's why we introduce ports and pants. Heat it from your home. UK did it, Spain did it, France did it. The result is phenomenal. Nobody will shoot you from your home. People are doing it right now, so we started. But the crowd is not much yet. The flyer is put on the Jumbotron right here. The flyer we design. You look at the content there, you can amend, you can adjust, blah, blah, blah. So this is what we print this flyer. We have to monitor our action, not talk. Not talk. No, we have to change the strategy. Because this talk, we're able to blackmail them online. I could say that our online effort since last
Sorry, is it just me or yes, we
Okay,
can. Prof, kindly wrap it up so that we can have
exactly. I don't know.
a discussion.
I was taking off the mic after the request again. So to round up the last, I talked about why, I talked about what, I talked about how. How is to promote this very protest on daily basis, not individual. It does not work because Mahatma Gandhi was not online. It was peaceful. They ran for whatever, they stay right there. They beat them, they don't retaliate. And we see last year, 2022, a small country called Sri Lanka did it. They hosted ex-military man, right? He was hosted, he ran away, he just came back recently now. A new president came. Why? The people marched in numbers to the presidential palace, right? So we also see that just today, because I speak good Spanish, right? At least the Spanish news, the former Spanish president said everybody should go out for protest, calling Spaniards. Why? Because this party right now who lost the election, he doesn't want to give, he want to, make bad deals with people and break the constitution or maybe infringe the constitution a little bit. This man said no. So this is an example that we call it protest the way it is. So we have to do it, educate people, support people, evaluate it. Those of us who cannot go, those who can go can also go and also teach them. It's peaceful from home. So when we do that, I believe before the Supreme Court case, we're able to make solid noise, and we have to do it very rapidly because we got no time. We lost some months of talking. So I believe that if we come with humility, take correction, take examples, and we work as one, we can be able, just 30 seconds, please. We can be able to follow examples of people who are already few on the ground, like Dr. Barry and some other people, and correct all this we did before, so that we can be able to establish these sports and bans and other protests, strikes, whatever, so that the people are now educated, so that what we have all online, they will also have it offline, and everybody will not be, we'll just be self-motivated, and we'll be watching the news, watching the something, and that will drive these people, because this is exactly what Tinubu fears, what the judges fear, when the masses of people, they are talking, they are hitting their pots and pans from their home, and some are on the street strategically. I bet you we will come here at the end after the Supreme Court judgment and say, yes, we did it, and we are empowered. Please join us on our spaces, join every spaces, and talk about this protest, and hand this only one side of talk online. It doesn't work. Do both, online and offline. It is magnificent. And I thank you all for what you'll be doing. Everyone here, you have done your work. This practical part will change Nigeria and also change Africa. God bless you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, quickly, like where me had said earlier, we'll be running off the space very soon. If you know you're in the speaker section and you intend to speak, ensure your hand is up. By what I can see on my screen, Mr. Kolade, your hand is up. So please go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you, everybody. Ngozi. I said Ngozi. Nelo, thank you. I heard your voice. You see everybody, I greet everybody. Wayme, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is it for me. I think we need to be careful. Not that I'm not trying to rebuke anybody. I'm just like, I think we need to be guarded with our all trances. Okay, I don't think we are in a stage of game, blaming game or passing what we did or what we did not do right. Okay, there is nothing like what we did or what we've not done right. We have done what we need to do. Do we need to do more? Yes, we need to do more. That is it. For every stage we get, you re-strategize. For every challenge, look, if you take whatever you may have done, you get it, you will still get an equal reaction from the other side. That's the way life is. So for me, this is it. People come and say, oh, we talk. Whatever has gotten us where we are today, It's because of this talk. All of us are saying we talk, 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 talk. I wouldn't have known any space like this if not that some people came on stage to talk. So please, all these talk, 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 let us mellow it down. If we want to bring up suggestion, let's bring up suggestion. If we want to like say this, no. And people have brought different suggestions. People have tried things. Pot and pan, we've been trying it for how long now? For a couple of months. So my own point now is, look, at this point where we are, I don't know, is one of the people that spoke earlier before Prof made a very cogent point. The elders to know what I'm glad today because well, you guys who have brought the elders into the conversation, now things are about to change. What I think we should begin to say now is how do we get hold of these elders and do this planning with them and let us go out there. I have made it clear before today. The only way out of this is for us to make a scapegoat or an example, or for us to show our force. That is the only way out. What we've all agreed on is we cannot just we cannot do without action, showing action. That is all we've all agreed about. And one thing again we've agreed about right now is I think right now the mode of planning should change. The mode of planning should change. Now what we are saying now is all the civil society, all the students union, all the whatever, now it is not just in court obedience. That is what the reason I'm saying in all of it. It is not just obedience right now. Right now it's about Nigeria. So we should go and get all our stakeholders in Nigeria who do whatever. And I will say again, thank you so much for the for the 1 million match crew. Though I was a bit pissed for just seeing that flyer today. We are organizing something of such a caliber of people on the platform, and we are just seeing it today. That didn't really make me. I didn't feel too comfortable with that. But whatever, you guys, thank you to you. So at this stage where we are right now, it should just go beyond us obedience. Majority, so many of us, not majority, so many of us are outside of the country. The people we are trying to like get to do things, the politicians know the weapon they use against them, which is poverty, make them poor so that they can't think straight. So now let us get everybody back to the drawing board. It is not about what one person have done or what one group did not do or whatever. Let's leave all that. We have a crisis, and that crisis we need to sort out. That is what is happening, and we don't have time. Like Prof, my brother, the last speaker just said, we don't have time. Supreme Court will start their whatever. We don't have time until we make a scapegoat or show this or a show of force. You get it for them to know that the people are there. The people are there. Until that happens, then yeah, I also worry about whatever outcome would be. But at least, thank you so much. Thank you so much, my people, for doing this. Now we know that at least the elders are talking at the background and something needs to happen. We need to rescue this country. It's no more just a quote. We've done our part. And thank you for everybody who has been speaking. We should not keep quiet. One last thing I think I want to say. We cannot keep quiet. It's just like a shepherd. If you have a sheep, you get it, you have to guard your sheep. If you like just leave them, and this is an open appeal. I've spoken to my brothers, they've assured me, but I'm going to say it openly right now. Violent crew team, please, you need to get back online. This is not a time for us. Yes, I know it can be devastating, but we need to get all what we've been doing. We need to get everything back online because we can't afford to let anybody just go astray. Some people are trying to fill up the spaces where they would come and hear that you at least tie them down for hours. They will go somewhere else and listen to other things. That's what we should realize. So please, spaces must go on. The mode of conversation might be adjusted, but spaces should go on. You don't want to leave your sheep. If you leave them for a bit, another person will take over them. Will feed them what you don't want them to be fed on. So that is it for me. Thank you, my people.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Koladi. Thank you. All right. Quickly. Okay, we have our big brother Ibrahim in the building. So I'll come to Ibrahim just immediately after Celebrity Housewife. Ibrahim is the DG of the Big Tent campaign management team. So He's also part of the guests that we're supposed to have today. Celebrity outside, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I have a number of concerns. Let me come down to our language. I get a number of concerns when they bother me. But I really want to beg everyone, clean your ears. I would like speak in our pidgin language because I don't tire to speak grammar at this point. You know, most of us like talk too much, and they really make sense when we they talk and we not they back our words with actions. So once again, I want to greet the host, the co-host, and every well-meaning Nigerian. When they this space, they listen to us. You see, as for the any enemy of Nigeria, when he dey inside this space, they listen to us, they disguise, say na one of us, to join and listen to us, so that at the end of the day, you go use our discussions against us. Thunder, when he get 24 colors from Ogbujo, go do collabo with electronic thunder from Alaja to fire una. My concern now is this. Why e be say when e come to online, we go plenty, we go dey active. I know a number of persons don raise this issue, but when e reach to come out peacefully in our numbers, we go turn to willy, we go disappear. Is it not shameful? Not a shame say with every information wey we get at hand about APC, about INEC, and they still dey show us shege. They still look at us in our face and call us idiots. How long are we going to continue like this? How long we go tolerate and even persevere before we go take action? Let me talk about my own state. The other day, we agreed to come out, but we were only 4 that showed up, and with courage, we did what we needed to do. Without the crowd, we did what crowd was supposed to do, which is not really good. There is a parable for my language when he say abotu onyegboroe. It means say na crowds na dey tie race. The people we are dealing with, they are not normal people. They are insane, they are mad people, they are ready to do anything. So we need our numbers to handle them, to tackle them. Now, another concern is this. We can see that with everything when it be said they don't do now, from the election and the reading of the results that suits them, and with what the judiciary have done, they deliberately they do and to discourage Nigerians from coming out in the future to vote. And most of you here will agree with me that people have already made up their mind. Some persons have already made up their mind, say, oh, I don't go come out again, come vote. Oh, this time I suffer, I do this, I do that, I get PVC, I vote. See, they still did what they wanted to do. So it is a deliberate act to discourage people, make them not come vote in future. So now we have a lot of work to do. Coming out to defend our rights, one. Coming out to question, to call out the judiciary, make the world know. Of course, the world is already aware of what is happening in Nigeria, if we are following up. But we still need to continue to lend our voices in the streets. Come out to see. And most importantly, as we dey do that one, make we not forget to reach out to the people around us, where we fit convince during the time of campaign, when our campaign make them get their PVCs, make them come out, make them vote, make them defend their vote. May we not forget, may we not relent to continue to encourage them. Say in future, if there's any need to vote, may they still come out, come vote. Because without voters, we have no evidence. Right from the days of John the Baptist, the kingdom of God suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. We need to let them know that nations that we call developed countries today, they struggled for their freedom. We are just starting, so it's too early to give up. So these are my concerns. We really need to focus on these areas. I yield my mic.
All right, thank you very much, celebrity housewife. Thank you very much. All right, let's quickly go straight to our guy Ibrahim. After which we'll come to Mommy Bola and Lay. Our guy Ibrahim.
Thank you very much, well meaning. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the host. I see a lot of big names here. My own is we are up here in the north, and I told people just to get up. Whether people are on the street today, whether they are going to be on the street tomorrow or next month. One thing I'm so sure of: this status quo cannot continue. It's never going to continue. Whether you take your ears to listen, whether you put earpiece so that you cannot listen, whether the DSS and the operatives are here listening to us will deny it. The system that we are operating in Nigeria cannot stand. What happened during the tribunal, if we export it and we push it towards 2027, you will just see a blank place that there is no Nigeria. So we have to be very careful. Protest has already started. I can tell you, everybody that is in September today, and his child is going back to school, or his children are going back to school, either in university, primary school, secondary school, whether you have to use keke napep or you have to trek to take them to school, no matter what you are going to do, the protest has already started in your mind. You can deny it, you can say what you want to say, you can say even you are Abado, you can say it will favor you in the future, but I know between you and your soul, between you and your mind, I'm so sure you have already started protesting. Because it's very clear, we can't take this as a country, no matter what. And you can't fix the country on illegality. It's not possible. If it stands, that means Nigeria is no more. That's the problem. That's the junction we are now. Whether you are in the army, whether you are in the navy, whether you are a policeman, if what happens in Nigeria in 2023 election stands, that means we don't have a country. That means that's what is going to happen in the next 3 elections that is going to come up on the November 11th. People will do anyhow. Criminals will find their way. You know that it's just about money to get a ticket to contest election. The party can nominate anybody, anyhow, and then lawyers will sit down on top of their seat and tell us we can do whatever party wants to do. It's in Nigeria, you can bring anybody from anywhere. It's a matter of party. So don't who protect the Nigerians? What is the judiciary for? So it can't stand. From here, what can if we can do this today, then in 2007 we're not going to have an election. So that means Nigeria has already gone by this, what we have seen as a judgment. So what else are we going to? Just to say, okay, let's keep quiet, let's maintain a country, we don't have to break our country. If this that happened in the 70s during the Shagari era, some people rise up and break the country and sue and fix it back, we will not be here today. If it happened in the 80s, they break this country and put it back, we will not be here today. It happened, it keep happening, it keeps swallowing. Then from 1999, we thought we are disciplined enough to come back and fix the system and develop a nation that everybody will enjoy. But look at where we are today. From 1999, everything is backsliding. Look at where we are today. Somebody will come glaring to the whole world and tell us why refineries are not working or why they should remove subsidy. But no one single person has been punished. One single person. One. We have not seen one person. And people are thinking that we are going to, we should just keep quiet. Things are going to get better. How will things get better? How? By sitting down in our houses, by lamentation. So what I'm just so happy about is that I know the protest has already started in everybody's mind. Everybody, no matter who you are, it's already started. Being on the street is just a matter of time. Getting this country to work again is just a matter of time. People cannot eat, people cannot drink, people cannot move, people cannot do anything. Diesel, as I talked to you today, is 920. People have already closed down their this and there is no electricity. What else do you want? What do you want to show for you to somebody to tell you to come and rescue this country? What do you want? Who will? And the people that are staying abroad, they knew the best country we have in this world is Nigeria. We just have a problem of leadership. And then this problem of leadership started escalating. After Buhari, now we are going to see what is called the real meaning of fascism. That's what part of him always tell us. Prof tell us that we don't know what is coming to us. That's why everybody is relaxing. You think there's something that we can just adjust. After 8 years of, we survived 8 years Buhari, we can survive another 8 years of Tinubu. Who told you that? How? Where? How? Even people that think that they are in the system, they are in the DSS, they are in the army, we are still suffering together. It's all of us. It's all of us in this mess. And if we clear and set up a new Nigeria, it's for all of us. It's not for a Brian. It's not for somebody from the south. It's not for somebody from the north. If the north is enjoying, we enjoy all of us. If the south is enjoying, we enjoy all of us. There is no any a line. If Muslim are enjoying, everybody will enjoy. A Christian is enjoying. We are all suffering. That's the truth. So my only idea is that I will just repeat this word to everyone that is here. The protest has already started in all of us. It started in our houses, it's in our heart, it's in our school, it's in our everything. The one that we are waiting for is the street one, and it's going to come. Whether we organize ourselves to get ourselves ready, people that are in the medical to get themselves ready, people that are that have money to get themselves ready, people that can provide bladder to get themselves ready. Our own is to do what is supposed to be crystal clear. Nobody hates Tinubu. Nobody hates APC. What we hate is the Nigeria that these people are giving to us. We all work for APC. But what everybody is saying is that the Nigeria, the direction we are going now, it cannot be sustainable. I saw Nigerians celebrating that they lifted bank for us to go to Dubai. To do what in Dubai? What is Emirates Airline? How many airlines do we have? How many airlines do they have? And we are celebrating. What is... I said, even this morning, I was asking some of my colleagues, I said, please tell me any benefit. What is coming to if we do this? What's the big deal? What are we going to earn? What? We still pay them their money. How many of our flights pass through there? What are we going to pay? What are we going to get? It's people that go to Dubai for medical tourism, people that go there to spend money, buy champagne there. What is made in Nigeria? Did they open for us to be carrying granite? Are we supposed to be taking? What are we taking? They didn't put it a quota for us to bring Nigerians that are going to participate in their economy. What are we going to benefit from? So sometimes I get confused when I see people just trying to show things that are not there. But the protest is already here. This is where we are. The elite can think of anything that they want to think. But I know that there's a big disconnect between the elites and the masses. Also, we talk to them. We talk to them on radio. They call in, we listen to them. We walk through the streets, we hear what people are saying. So people can think whatever they want to think. You can say whatever you want to say. But it's a movement that nobody can stop it. It is here, and we're going to get back our country. Whether how it's going to happen, how we are going to do it, I know a lot of people are talking behind the scenes. But this is an assurance. I can say it for free. Everybody can hear me from here. Because the only thing that keeps peace is justice. And there is no justice in Nigeria. I yield my mic.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. Thank you for that. All right. Let's quickly go to Mommy Bolanle. Mommy Bolanle, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone from my side. Greetings to the 1MMC team. Thank you for hosting this. Greetings to all those who have spoken. Sister Hilda, Dr. Barry, Mr. Ibrahim, I listen to Pat Tom. I mean, it's like all of the people who have spoken and have spoken well. It feels like we kind of all are in agreement here. And the agreement is remaining quiet is not an option. And 8 years of Buhari that a lot of people have spoken about as being bad will pale into insignificance compared to this particular man who's in Aso Rock. And I say that with every sense of responsibility as a Lagosian who knows what state capture looks like. When somebody who came from America, who we don't really know his pedigree or anything else about him, and suddenly, before our very eyes, Lagos State became his own personal bank account, and every instrument of government in Lagos State was at his behest. So you can't do anything without his say so. And I can't even wrap my head around the very thought of it being done on a federal level. Here's the thing, and I say this, I make no apologies for it. I have been somewhat quiet. I have been somewhat in a pensive mood over the last couple of weeks. Not so much because of the judgment that we got from the PPT. No, I was expecting that. I think what first silenced me was the extent to which they were prepared to turn the constitution on its head, and basically bin the electoral act that we all had taken time to read and take cognizance of. Right. I think I was more disappointed when I didn't see Nigerians as angry as I was, and I kept on saying to myself, hold up. It takes one person to start to get onto the streets and say, actually, no, enough of this. And that one person, another person joins, and another person joins. But even when we seemingly were planning it, right, it didn't happen. And I kept on saying, wait, what happened? The civil movement in Nigeria that I know of growing up, seeing, the extent to which they fought against the military regime, particularly Abacha of the time. Did they not give birth to children? Are we not a product of their bravery at the time? What is wrong? Why is it that we are literally begging people to come out and say enough is enough? At which point is enough for you as an individual? Because I kept on sitting back and I was like, every institution of government has been bastardized, right? Everything. We're basically a banana republic. And I'm like, is it that people don't realize it? Or is it that we are, toad or frog in hot boiling water, but no, in cold water where the temperature is being risen to a point until it was too tired to jump out of a boiling pot? What will it take? And then when you then think about the efforts that young people took to run the campaign as ObiDients that you ran, and I say to myself, hold up. So you are happy to let all of that go? All of that hard work? You are happy to allow Judases in your ranks and you're not calling them out? You're happy to say, actually, well, we've done enough. That's it. It didn't work and that's it. And I'm like, when did we become, as Nigerians, when did we become docile? When did we become afraid if we are indeed children of those that fought the military back then. It did not happen overnight. They will tell you this. All these people that have spoken will tell you this. It did not happen overnight. So my question is, why does it feel like you're giving up? Is that all you had in the tank? We'll try this, and if it doesn't work, that's it? Why did you get into the obedient movement if not that you wanted to see a better Nigeria? Is Nigeria better? At the moment, it's worse than it's ever been. So I don't understand why you think your job, your work is done. It's not. In fact, it only just began. Because the fight to win Nigeria back, because that's what the fight is about. Make no mistakes, it's not just about Peter Obi. No, it's about every single one of you. Right, so if that's the case, what is going on? Do we need to do, I don't know, group therapy for some people? Because I will volunteer if that's what it's going to take. Because we definitely should not have to say, oh, we'll pay you to go out on the streets. Because at the end of the day, is your shoe not tight? Do I even know whether it pinches you or not? No. So, unless you're telling me that all you did in the last 1 year, right, was just about one person, then what I have to say to you is you shouldn't have even bothered. Because Nigeria has to be bigger than any one person. It's bigger than me, it's bigger than you, it's bigger than Peter Obi. And if you truly believe that, then get off your ass and do something about it. Right? I'm not saying civil disobedience is not about violence. If you think about the civil movement in America, they used to hold hands and march. I've seen Dr. Barry do it time and time again. Did you see them smashing people's heads or anything? No. So please, I've said I wasn't going to speak, but I felt the need to, and I am just saying, if indeed that the intention was to see a better Nigeria, then the time is now. Forget about whether we did it immediately the results came out, immediately INEC announced whether we did it before the PEPT sat or whether we did it after we got results. The now has come. Let's do something. Please, let's just do something because Nigeria has to be saved from these people. Thank you. I yield the mic.
All right, thank you, Mommy Bonali. All right, quickly, let's take Dr. Barry.
Hello.
Dr. Barry, please go ahead. Anya, please hold on and just probably raise your hand. We'll come to you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Obrigado.
Yeah, and Dr.
Thank
Barry,
you,
well done
everyone.
for all you did on Judgment Day around the courts, around Ministry of Finance, all that was done. Well done.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. My mentor, Professor Utomi, you're one person I always dug my heart for. I've never seen that I don't give you credit because fact remains that this is one man that's always given me the ginger that you people see on the street. Anytime I am with Professor Mary, this is your turn to show that you're a Nigerian. This is your turn to show that the illegality of our elections and our politics must stop. We have done our part. This is now your time to lead the way. And anytime I leave him, I go crazy because I grew up in this part of the world called Nigeria, and I had the name Pat Utomi. I never seen what he has done with himself from a nobody to who he is today. And I said, I will do my part. Even if I remain the last man standing on the streets, I will do my part. Actually, I'd like to thank everyone who have always been on the space. Auntie Bolanle, thank you so much for always remembering that I survived, I am alive, Saddam, well-meaning. In fact, everyone who is on the space, Auntie Dokubo, Stella, I love you so much. Steve, you guys are the ones making us get out of the street. Because when we know that you guys are on the space from abroad, we go crazy and want to do the right thing. Because we cannot be in Nigeria and we sit in our comfort zone and want criminals, political terrorists to continue to terrorize Nigerians and criminalize every activity of our elections. This is a shame. How can you allow somebody who did not win election begin to galvanize and be swelling and be walking free as president? I don't really know that that man called Muhammadu Buhari is part and parcel of the criminals in our politics. How can you tell us that somebody who won election will be installed as president? Suspended the constitution of Nigeria in the eyes of all Nigerians, and nobody made a word, nobody said anything. For me, it's not about money. For me, it's about a country that must be fixed. If you don't come out and support this wickedness that must stop, the movement that must stop the wickedness that we see in this country. Let me tell you, no matter how much you think you have, you are on this space, your children will serve them. Your children will serve them, God forbid. If you don't want your children to serve them, show yourself on the street when the clarion call comes. Listen to your national anthem. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria. Nigeria's call must be obeyed by the obedient. That's why we stand up. And that's why I'm not afraid. And that's why I'm calling people like me who are in their houses to step up, get the sneakers and step up to the streets and show them that we can overturn. We can overrun them. We have done that peacefully. We will continue to be peaceful. Anyone who thinks Nigeria is their property, they lie. Nigeria belongs to all of us. No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. Don't let anybody deceive you and tell you you'll be shot. Nobody can shoot you. If we are like 100,000 people come out on the street, they cannot dare us. Do you think you can dare 100,000 people? We had a collabo protest with the NRC some months ago, some days ago, some weeks ago in Abuja. Like 40,000, 30,000. Did you not see what happened? No police shot a bullet because they know what will happen if they tried. No soldier will dare do anything. We are peaceful. We are Nigerians. We have the right to protest. It's our fundamental human right to reject the criminality of any political or democratic institution. Whether we like it or not, until the Supreme Court declares the final verdict, Ahmed Bola Tinubu of the APC remains an illegitimate president. If you want to arrest me, go ahead. And if you think you can win this battle, you lie. Nigerians are ready for you. We are ready to come out. We are ready to speak the truth. We are ready to fix this country. We are tired of the stealing, the looting by some few people who think Nigeria is bigger than, they are bigger than Nigeria. I am from Delta. Behind my father's house in the village, there's a borehole. I mean, there's an oil well that's drilled. Guess what? The oil well does not belong to anyone in my family. The oil oil well does not belong to anyone in my village. The oil well does not belong to anyone in my local government. The oil well does not belong to anyone in my state. The oil well belongs to somebody, one criminal in Taraba State. Is it done? Is it done? And you think you can gag us to the end? This is a warning, no. If you think you can kill me, go ahead. A man dies but once. You kill me, remember that the person who kills me cannot last more than 7 days. He must die. It is a clear manifestation. It is not a threat. I am saying it to any goddamn person on this space. The only way to stop me from talking is killing me. And if you kill me, get ready to die in 7 days. And you will not die alone. You and your generation must be wiped. That one is clear. I am not killable. And you who has sent that person to kill that Dr. Barry must also die. All of us will die. If we know that we must die, so why are we wasting time? Let all of us die so that this country can change for the next generation. You must put your life on the line for Nigeria to be fixed. Because these guys are stoning this country dry. Them and their children. Right now, as I'm talking to you, they have started putting their girlfriends on the line so that their girlfriends will be in the position in case their children are wayward. They can use their girlfriends to move us out of zone. We will not allow that. My name is Dr. Barry Avotu Johnson. I am the country director for Vote Must Count International Initiative. We were on the street during the election. We served as an independent supervising election body. We have our results. The man called Peter Obi of the Labour Party won the election. There is no that Ahmed Bola Tinubu won this election. So why would Mahmoud Yakubu, even with the stolen criminal result released by INEC, Peter Obi, according to them, did not make 25% in 24 states. So he couldn't be declared as president-elect. Atiku Abubakar also, by the result released by INEC, did not make the FCT 25%. He could not be declared as president. Ahmed Bola Tinubu too, Asiwaju, did not make 25% in the FCT, according to the requirements of the law by the Electoral Act. So who gave Mahmoud the impetus? The criminal Mahmoud, who gave him the impetus to declare Ahmed Bola Tinubu as president? Who gave him? What technicality does the court need? Paying you, make you remain for your house. When we declare a day for protest, don't come out. Don't come out. Your children will suffer it. If you think because of the 5 kobo you have in your pocket today, you will sway and swear and enjoy, it will finish. But I tell you, the last day is here for Nigeria. If the center cannot hold, then let the sides fall apart. Nigeria cannot force Nigerians to become a country. If Nigeria cannot work, if the people in power cannot fix Nigeria, if the reality of our elections cannot be brought to the forefront for it to work the right way, I think let us end Nigeria now, without fear or favor. If the center cannot hold, it's not a must that we will remain as Nigerians. I'm not even talking about the Biafra Republic. I'm talking about the 36 states and the Biafra Republic. I'm talking about the 36 states and the